So, tell me guys, all of you out there, did you know I have a Death Note? I'm just kidding, I don't have a Death Note. I'm just messing with you. You don't have to worry about me. Just, don't ever tell me your name, or I might. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the Death Note movie, and this might be a bit ranty, a bit stupid, and actually, in all honesty, I was kind of in the camp of this was already a bad idea before it came out. Because I'll be completely honest with you guys, when it comes to adaptations and whatnot, quite honestly, I prefer animation and the books opposed to live action adaptation. That doesn't mean that I can't enjoy a live action adaptation. I definitely can. I've done that many a time with like superhero movies and others, but anime adaptations and video game adaptations have always had a bad rap of being goddamn terrible, and this movie is no exception. Oh, if you guys are interested in an actual live action Death Note film that's actually good, Warner Brothers of Japan released, if I remember correctly, about 2 or 3 films of Death Note. So, if you're interested, go find those. They're, from what I haven't seen them myself, I'll be honest, but from what I've heard, it's actually even better than its original source material. Don't know exactly how, and I'm not going to spoil how exactly because, spoilers. And I'll try to avoid spoilers in this film, but actually, quite honestly, they took part of the source material and then just kind of completely derailed it and took it to a completely other side of the universe or something. Country. I mean, it is in Seattle, so, I guess liberties are going to be taken. I think this was a missed opportunity to actually make a very interesting project. Now, the one thing that's really cool about Death Note in general is that anybody can be given the book. Anybody can be given the Death Note. Now, the fact that they took characters from the original adaptation and gave them American names, and people are always they're going to talk about the whitewashing and the blackwashing and whatever. Those are heavy topics that I don't particularly care for. But the thing that I find really irritating is that they could have taken this opportunity to do their own thing and do something completely original. 100% original. New characters, new stories, with the only character that I would say you would keep being the god of death himself, Ryuk, which, by the way, I don't know if anybody else has seen the film or whatnot, but when I hear William Dafoe talking as Ryuk, it kind of reminds me of his time as the Green Goblin in the Spider-Man movie. It's actually quite hilarious. It's very tongue-in-cheek, he's very serious. Although, I don't remember all the rules of the Death Note, because I'm not the most diehard fan, but I did watch the anime and I did enjoy it, and I had read, at least I think, 1 volume of the manga. I do think it's really good. It's the best suspense anime that I myself have ever watched. But the one thing that I find, because they could have done the one thing, like I said, they could have, instead of giving us a Light, an L, a Mia, and whatnot, they could have just completely took it off the rails and just given them new names. And then just say, this is a Death Note series set in Seattle with a whole new cast of characters, but it just has the name Death Note. You could even say that this takes place after the original, you might say. You could say it is a opportunity to expand the lore of the universe, but it doesn't do that very much at all. And because it's like you took the character of L and Light, and those are the two I'm going to focus the most on because they're the two most pivotal characters in the story, Mia was important in the original. This time she's a crazy bitch, and I don't want to talk about her very much. Ella and Light are supposed to be very fun, well, not fun characters, but Light is supposed to be basically a narcissist, or somewhat of a sociopathic narcissist. Think Riddler, but with the power to kill anybody he darn well pleases. Because that's what Light is. He was a sociopath in the original. He had no care or concern for pretty much anybody. He was a genius. And they try and show this kid as a genius, but in reality, he's just more or less oh, hey, look, I cheat on papers. Not to mention that when he finds the Death Note book, he doesn't really do anything with it, and the person who has to explain to him how the book works is Ryuk. When in the original, Ryuk doesn't show up until later, and all that Light does is he sees the book, he reads some of the rules, and he's like, yeah, right, like, that's a real thing, and then he sits on it for a while, and then actually tries to use it. Then it actually works, and he's like, oh my freaking god, I could do a lot of things with this. And in this particular iteration, at first, he makes it seem like he's doing this for the greater good, or for revenge, more or less. Actually, no. He does this for revenge and to right the wrongs of all of the poor people. In the original source material, that's not Light. Light doesn't care about others, particularly. He's talking about bringing true justice and judgment among people. And inevitably, it grows to the point where it's not just justice and judgment that he's after, but godhood is what he was more interested in. He wanted to be a god. And in a sense, he kind of was, considering that he could decide whether people live or die. And now let's kind of get into L for a bit. I really don't know what to say about this. I mean, the actor that they got, I don't know what the management or the directors were trying to do. Were they trying to make him seem more sporadic and unhinged? But L has a very calm personality. I mean, they got his snacking kind of down, which was kind of funny, but L is very calm, very reserved. He doesn't reveal himself easily, and he's actually super intelligent. In this, he seems to be smart, but really not as smart in the same gravity, especially considering that his opponent actually seems stupider than he is, which is really disappointing. It's not a game of cat and mouse like in the original. Another minor gripe I would say I have with this is musical choice. Oh boy, they really went with that angsty teen drama shit. I mean, for crying out loud, they filmed it in Seattle. You can't get more angsty teen than filming in Seattle. It's like, who are you trying to market to? The Twilight fans? My goodness. Come on. What is this trash? Oh. My god, that is just the dumbest thing. Was because I liked a lot of the music in the original. It was like very, punk metal or very heavy metal. I really am not sure what genre it would fall into. I think that the original opening was very heavy metal, and I thought it was a really amazing opening. But this show opens with like corny, crappy music. Teen angst music. It was just, the whole thing was teen angst bundled up with somewhat of a suspense and horror. Also, why is everybody cussing in this? Do you think that if you start cussing in a film because it's rated mature, that people will take you more seriously? Because that's not how that works at all. In the original, nobody cussed at all. At least not very much. I think there may have been a few cuss words, but no one dropped the F-bomb every few minutes just to prove how serious this is, guys. It's really embarrassing. Also, a lot of the deaths were a lot more gore-oriented, especially early on than in the original source material. It was over the top a lot of the times. A lot of the deaths were overkill, and it's just like, this is way more elaborate than the others because, well, Light actually used the Death Note in an intelligent way, and he tried not to make himself too... I mean, he made himself known, but he didn't, make people explode and whatnot. That's just over the top, and it's pretty. At least I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched the show itself. Maybe I'll go back and watch it, because this movie sure as hell disappointed me. This is just a mini kind of rambling rant about Death Note, the movie, 2017. It's pretty darn stupid. I don't really recommend watching it. Go watch the Warner Brothers films. Go watch the anime. Go read the manga. Go do that instead. You'll have a far better time with that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, as always, do not forget to leave a like, shoot a comment, subscribe if you are new. Please hit notifications, because otherwise you will not be up to date on all my videos. Share also if you enjoyed this. It would mean a lot to me. It would make my little dark heart very, very happy. And as always, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I will see you next time. Nightwolf is out. And it is hot in my room.